Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club.
Greetings.
Greetings, brethren all. Welcome to this lecture series for today, to be delivered by none other person than the Executive Governor of Imo State, His Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodimma, CON. Let's say greetings to the special guest of honor.
Greetings.
At this point, I would like to make some recognitions. But first, let me say to our guests that this is Yoruba Tennis Club. Our club is established on culture and ethics and certain norms. So just sit back and enjoy this event. Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the trustees and the vice patrons of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the past chairmen and the elders of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the brethren of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live our sisters. And long live our guests. We welcome you this afternoon to this lecture. And with us today at this event is the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Chief Olakunle Bomo Agbebi, SAN. Brother Agbebi, greetings all. Also with us is the Vice Chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Chief Olaomi Gaspar, MNI. Sitting in the hall with us this afternoon is our revert trustee, the past chairman of this club, Brother Sigismund Babacheyi Joseph, SAN. Also with us is our revert trustee, Brother Peter Olusegun Moniz. Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. With us this afternoon as well is the past chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Dele Martins. Permit me to also recognize the presence of our vice patron, Brother Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State. Also here is the past chairman of the club, the immediate past chairman, Brother Babajide Damasio, the Onigegewura of Lagos. Here with us are many elders of our club. Can we jointly say greetings to the elders of Yoruba Tennis Club? Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. The chairman stepped out. May I call on Brother Bisi Olatilo to make the recognitions for the delegation from Imo State.
I'd like you to put your hands together for the General Secretary of Yoruba Tennis Club. It has to be richer than that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Much earlier on, we had received our royal fathers who came all the way from different parts of Nigeria. I'm extremely excited about this. And I was saying in the absence of our special guest that this is the way we should continue to build Nigeria. I see here our father who was a minister of petroleum in those days, and now Royal Father in Bayelsa State, Dr. King Daukuru. I'd like you to please put your hands together for King Edmund Daukuru, came all the way from Bayelsa for this. Thank you. We also have a man above Okpobo Kingdom who's here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to please put your hands together for him. King. Thank you very much. Our governor already has been the man who has been piloting affairs in Lagos. Thank you very much for finding time to come. I know that even today we're welcoming Mrs. the vice, what we call it now, the First Lady of the Federal Republic, but you are here with us. Thank you. Please put your hands together for the governor again for having been here for this event. Imo State came with a big delegation. I told you earlier on that we have a former governor who's here with us, Ikedio Hakim. I'd like you to put your hands together for him. Excellency Ikedio Hakim. We have also here Senator Osita Ezunaso, came all the way from the National Assembly because of this important matter. And we have the Minister of Science and Technology who's here with us to also support his own friend and brother. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I know too that in the audience we have Ambassador Greg Mbadiwe. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Chief also Ngozi Mbadiwe. And we have Chief Cosmos, who is the Secretary to the Government of Imo State. I'd like to thank you very much at this point and hand you back to the man who is piloting the affairs. I'll come in every once in a while. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor, I have the pleasure this afternoon to also introduce to the House our royal fathers who have come to grace this important occasion. We have here His Royal Majesty Oba Said Ademola Elegushi Kushanlaf II. Kábíyèsí o. Also with us is His Royal Majesty Oba Abdul Wasiu Lawal, the Oniru of the land. You're welcome, Kábíyèsí. With us here also is His Royal Majesty Oba Adesegun Bolaji Alowonle Owuyo the fifth, Elemure of Emure in Lagos State. Kábíyèsí, you're welcome. Here with us is the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Olufolarin Kayode Ogunsanwo. Kábíyèsí, you're welcome to this event. May I crave indulgence of everyone here to call on the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club for his opening remarks. Brother Chairman.
Greetings, brethren all. Long live the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the vice patrons, trustees, past chairmen, and elders of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the brethren of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the sisters of the Yoruba Tennis Club. And long live our guests. Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, my lords, spiritual and temporal, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you here today to this very important lecture. But in doing this, I must, for protocol reasons, recognize certain personalities in our midst. I thank the previous speakers here who have recognized quite a number of people. But I'd like to recognize especially Mr. Governor, Brother Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Commander of the Order of the Niger. Brother Governor, greetings, sir. Brother Governor, we have watched with pleasure and with pride the good works and targeted infrastructure you have done in Lagos State. We know for certain that your humility is only surpassed by your penchant for hard work, and your penchant for hard work is only surpassed by your love for God and humanity. Brother Governor, you are most welcome. Brethren, can you say greetings to Brother Governor? I'd also like to welcome very specially His Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodimma, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Executive Governor of Imo State. Your Excellency, sir, your achievements in Imo State are on record as having surpassed that of any government in the eastern part of Nigeria. The biggest ailment in Nigeria when it concerns infrastructure is maintenance, and you have turned maintenance into the art of your government. Infrastructural development targeted to enrich the masses and make life easier has been your hallmark, and the Almighty God will bless you for it. As you have done, we pray that you continue to do, and the Lord will strengthen you. I must make welcome the First Lady of Imo State and my learned colleague. You are most welcome, First Lady. We have with us the Minister of Science and Tech. Sir, we have spoken earlier this morning. I'd like to make you welcome specially. We have been blessed to have with us quite a number of traditional rulers who have been recognized here this morning. In our own language, we'll say Kabiyesi to everyone that is here, all the traditional rulers. But permit me to single out one and greet him specially, and that is King Dakoru, whom I'll say Onuasa. I'm sure you understand what that means. Today's lecture is to be delivered on the theme, Where are the Nigerians? A study in citizenship and patriotism. I know that the Constitution of Nigeria, Chapter 3, from sections 25 to 28, speak about citizenship. It guarantees citizenship by birth, and it also states how citizenship by marriage, section 26, citizenship by naturalization, 27, and dual citizenship in section 28 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. So for most of us in this hall, I am sure that citizenship has been acquired by birth. But for the others, they acquire citizenship and have equal rights. For you to be a patriot, however, is a completely different story. A patriot has been defined or has been stated by Mark Twain, the famous writer, to be someone who rises in the period of change. A patriot is described as someone who is bold and brave, who usually stands against the dedicated way of life. At the period, the patriot is derided, he's scorned, he is abused, and often put to shame. But when the tide changes for the better and the improvement of the society, patriotism becomes cheap, because the timid and those who are scared to champion change also join in they join the whole tide of patriotism, but they are not the real patriots. The real patriots are those who stand up during periods of change. We are in an epoch where we need change. The way we have done things in the past has not helped us. But I am not the guest speaker. I'm only the precursor for the guest speaker. We have a very large contingent from Imo State. To all of you who have come, those dwelling in Lagos and those who have traveled from Imo State, I say, no, Dalu, thank you very much, you're welcome. To my brethren of the Yoruba Tennis Club, particularly the trustees and the vice patrons, brethren of the club and the sisters of the club, thank you very much for turning out. I'm sure all of us will be enriched by the lecture we're about to receive. So please sit back. We're going to take opening remarks very shortly, and then we'll have the feast of intellectual delight from His Excellency the Governor of Imo State. Thank you very much. Greetings, brethren all.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, brethren all, to brag a bit about the man who is coming to make his opening remarks, the man who came into office blazing with fire, the man who, with deep humility, has continued to serve the good people of Lagos State, sometimes making some known, but a lot of times doing a lot quietly. And while bragging, I would like to tell our good people from Imo that in Lagos State, you would have heard about the blue line rail system. The red line is taking off soon. After that, we have the yellow line and a few other colored lines that is going to turn Lagos into a proper metropolitan society. That is just one. Just a few days ago, Mr. Governor, brother governor, if I may, assured the youth corpers in Lagos State and that each corper is going home with a handsome sum. That's aside the fact that the Lagos State government is about to build a permanent NYSC camp. I'm sure if I continue to brag, we will not permit the speaker today, the lecturer, to speak. So permit me to welcome the Vice Patron of Yoruba Tennis Club and the Governor of Lagos State, Brother Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the vice patron and trustees of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the past chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the elders of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the brethren of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the sisters of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live our guests. May those who love us continue to love us. For those who do not love, who do not yet in love with us, may we pray that in their own good times, they may know what it is to be a member of Yoruba Tennis Club. May all those who pass through the portals of Yoruba Tennis Club continue to prosper. May the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club live forever. Your Excellency, my brother, my friend, the governor of Imo State, the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, the chairman of the Nigerian Progressive Governors Forum, and the Onwa na Etirunwa. Most distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, CON, and his amiable and lovely wife, the First Lady of Imo State, Mrs. Uzodimma. Let me, through you, greet all our esteemed guests from Imo State, from the members of the National Assembly that have come, the members of the Federal Executive Council that have come, the various traditional rulers that have joined you, indigents of Imo State, businessmen that are Imo but are resident and are people of Lagos State that have joined you. Let me through you acknowledge all of them. But let me warmly also acknowledge our chairman, the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club, who had timid feet, brought friendship, you've brought good tidings from across the Niger all the way to Lagos. And that is a testament of a large number of your citizens that have come here to listen to you, but more importantly, to give you solidarity. And so, Your Excellency, on behalf of the good people of Lagos State, we want to welcome you. We want to thank you for honoring us. We want to thank you for accepting, even with your very difficult schedule, to come to the Center of Excellence and jojo with us. And so we will listen to you. We know that we will be richly blessed. But more importantly, the partnership and the relationship between Imo and Lagos State in your tenure will continue to flourish, because we're both people-driven, we're both citizens inclined, and we're both driven by ensuring that we leave the place we're running better than we met it. We're both driven by understanding that the socio-economic conversation of this country will get better. And you are one of the strongest supporter and advisor to Mr. President. I want to thank you for your dedication, your loyalty, and your sense of responsibility at all times. Thank you very much, my brother and my friend. On behalf of the citizens of Lagos State, I want to welcome you once again. Thank you.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Brother Governor, no one could have done better in marketing and selling the brand called Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. May I call, somebody whispered to me just a few minutes ago that even though I'm bragging about Lagos State, I should understand that His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, was born. you may need to confirm that so that we know. Thank you, sir. May I call on Brother Prince B.C. Olatilo to read the citation of today's guest lecturer. Now, Brother Olatilo, please.
Thank you very much. I'm hoping that we're all listening, sir. Before I go into reading this, I'd like you to please help me thank this gentleman here who has taken me like a friend. Imo State is like my own state. He's been there in 5 years. I've been there all along with him. A great benefactor of BISCON community. In fact, if BISCON or BOS is not there, the man will say, Kebo, no, no. May God bless you, sir. Now, this one is not in the citation. Let me just say it in 1 minute. Governor Hope Uzodimma, as the chairman of the Southeastern Governors Forum, hosted APC when we're campaigning for President Bola Tinubu. In fact, our governor was also there. Governor of Lagos State was there. Pulled a big crowd there. We had to cover, that's why I'm saying this. Then when Mr. President got elected, he now chose to campaign for him in Owerri. Are you getting what I'm saying? In fact, the president's wife, our first lady, campaigned, galvanized all the women there for our president, and in fact, him when he got to his turn. So, may God bless you for being a Nigerian. I don't know how many people do this, and you really love. The kind of love that exists between you and the president, nobody can divide it. Thank you very much. Let me go into the citation now. Thank you. God bless. Now, the citation of our guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Hope Uzodimma, CON, the Executive Governor of Imo State. Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma is currently serving his second term as the Governor of Imo State. He's the Chairman of Southeast Governors Forum and the Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum. Prior to being elected the Governor of Imo State, he served in the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for 2 terms, 2011 to 2019, during which he headed the Senate Committee on Customs and Excise and Aviation. Governor Uzodimma holds a diploma in Maritime Management Technology and higher diploma in the same field from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo in Imo State. He also has a Bachelor of Arts, BA in International Studies and Diplomacy from the Washington University, USA. As the Governor of Imo State since January 15, 2020, Senator Hope Uzodimma has changed the infrastructural landscape of Imo State through his popular Road Revolution project, reactivation of public water supply, revival of moribund public industries, and provision of quality healthcare delivery system, and functional and quality education. Under his watch, ladies and gentlemen, as Governor of Imo State, more than 100 quality, durable roads and bridges have been constructed and commissioned. This are Olowe Road, Owerri and Owerri Umuahia Road. His administration, in addition to functional primary center, 305 electoral wards in the state, also delivered 3 world-class state-of-the-art facilities. I think you should be putting your hands together if this is possible. Thank you very much. Who's that?
Olubide. Okay.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, thank you very much for coming. God bless you, sir. Your hands please together for him. Thank you. Thank you. Now, the Owerri Urban Water Scheme, which was moribund for over 20 years, was reactivated by its administration, and residents of the state capital city of Owerri now have access to public water supply. Efforts are being made to also improve the water supply in the cities of Orlo and Okigwe. Uzodimma also distinguished himself in the education sector. Apart from renovating and equipping primary schools in the 305 electoral wards in the state, he established 2 new universities in addition to an existing one. A college of education and a polytechnic. In effect, his administration successfully funds and sustains 5 tertiary institutions to ensure that education-thirsty Imo indigents have enough space to pursue their dreams. Are you following this? Thank you. He had invested copious effort in sanitizing the public civil service by automating their processes, leveraging on world-class data-backed system to automate the payroll, pension, and salary of the state. In the process, he equally revisited the welfare of serving public workers and approved service-wide promotion of staff, which had not happened for over 15 years in the public service. He provides free medical services to Imo State civil servants and has consistently awarded a 13-month salary for all cadre of workers. Now, one area that Governor Uzodimma has distinguished himself as a visionary leader of note is in the area of leading Imo State into the new age of digital economy. Imo State is the first and only state that has established a Ministry of Digital Economy and an e-government. Through this audacious visionary move, his administration has trained 40,000 Imo youths in different digital skills. Over 85,000 of them are already gainfully employed. His target, by the way, is to train 300,000 youths in digital skills in the next 2 years. To cap it up, ladies and gentlemen, he is currently and fervently pursuing the dredging of Oguta Lake, Orashi River to the Atlantic with the support and approval of the federal government. The Ambition project is a public-private partnership which, when completed, will be catalyzing the rapid economic development of not only Imo State, but the entire Southeast. With great, thank you very much. Let me wait for that. Oh wow, you go kai go. Where you going to? I need to Thank you. Now, his deep vision to better the lot of Imo people derives partly from his love for humanity, which is only comparable to his love for the country itself. And unprecedented nationalist, Senator Hope Uzodimma believes so fervently in the Nigerian state that he will not brook any thoughts of disunity. Can you put your hands together for this? Oh, we can see this at display here. You don't, this thing you don't buy it, you work for it and you earn it. Thank you, sir. Now, those close to him really can attest to his unique work ethics and acknowledging that he is no slave to hard work and philanthropy. Governor Uzodimma can be philanthropic can be a philanthropist to a fault. Often he is prepared to go hungry and just to lend a helping hand to the underdeveloped and underprivileged. This explains why many of us see him as the hope of the hopeless. Senator Uzodimma brings to bear uncommon tenacity and efficiency in his job. This is responsible for the remarkable success he has recorded while serving as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariffs. As governor of Imo State, he has brought the same knack for fiscal dexterity to bear in the prudent and disciplined management of the finances of the state. All payments and receipts by the government are now automated, thus saving billions of naira for the state. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? Okay. Before venturing into politics, Senator Hope Uzodimma accomplished himself as a businessman. Prior to his election as governor of Imo State in 2019, he had been elected into the Senate in 2011 and again in 2015. Before then, he was the chief executive officer of Niger Global Engineering and Technical Company, the CEO of SAMIC Chemical Engineering and Construction Company, and the Hope Engineering Services Limited, and chairman Futem Hutod Oil and Gas. In reality, Uzodimma, ladies and gentlemen, I have just two lines to finish this. In reality, Uzodimma was an accomplished leader both in the public and private sector before becoming a senator and later the governor of Imo State. Uzodimma is a proud recipient of the national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Niger CON and the highest honor bestowed on individuals by the government of Rivers State, both of which received in 2023. He has also received several other awards from different organizations, namely Sun newspapers, This Day newspapers, and Nigerian Union of Journalists, named after him. Senator Uzodimma is a proud recipient of several traditional titles, but is popularly and happily called Onwa Netiliora. Your hands together for him. Onwa Onyoko. Senator Uzodimma spends his spare time in reading, writing, and thinking about Nigeria and how we can build a better nation. His thoughts are usually expressed in public lectures such as this or in books. While the public lectures are countless, he has authored 3 books, namely Giant Strides of a Democratic Soldier, Volumes 1 and 2, 2015, Contemporary Essays on Nation Building, Ndibo and Integration, 2018, and Reflections on the Igbo Question, 2022. He is happily married with 9 children. Your hands please together for him. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. Thank you. Hold on. Let me take.
Thank you. Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. That was a bit intimidating. And I wasn't really surprised because if a man invests so much in education, he must be a man who seeks the good of the land. And Your Excellency, sir, I saw a friend of mine on your entourage, and now I know why she's the chairman of TED Fund. It's obvious that Your Excellency is particularly interested in higher education. My friend, Princess Onoha. Thank you very much. At this point, I have no choice but to yield the floor to His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, CON. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to pronounce the Onwa. I will learn it very soon. Your Excellency, sir.
Please sit down. No, don't worry. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sam-Olu, and the special guest of honor to this occasion, Your Excellency, Oyebanji Abiodun Abayomi, the Executive Governor of Ekiti State, Your Excellency Barrister Chioma Uzodimma, the wife of the Governor of Imo State, the chairman of this great occasion, Dr. Femi Okumi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, CON, and the Vice Patron of the club, the Honorable Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Chief Uche Nnaji, the Deputy National Chairman of our great party, APC, Chief Emma Enuku, served. Our host, Bro Chief Olakunle Ababi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and the Chairman, Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the Chairman, Yoruba Tennis Club. Members of the Board of Trustees of Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live members of the Board of Trustees. All distinguished senators, members of the House of Representatives who are here with us this afternoon. The Honorable Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly, and members Imo State House of Assembly in our midst. The former military governor of Imo State, distinguished Senator General, retired Ike Nwachukwu, the Secretary to the Government of Imo State, the National Secretary of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, Ambassador Oke Emuche, Chief Ayo Thomas Orogun, Chairman of the Lecture Organizing Committee and his members, all honorable commissioners, members of the expanded Executive Council of both Lagos State and Imo State, members esteemed Yoruba Tennis Club, and all the patrons here gathered. I have many distinguished, very important personalities here, ranging from distinguished Senator Ben Obi Ojenibo, Chief Charles Ahiz, Chief Victor Morako, Chairman Fiscal Responsibility Commission, Chief Tony Shuku, Ambassador Igariwe, former President of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, the Chairman Governing Council, Federal Polytechnic Nekede, Chief Henry Iku, Ambassador Greg Mbadiwe, Chairman NAMDA Governing Council, NAMDA Zikiwe Federal University. My revered traditions, whose names has been mentioned in this hall, whom I have so much respect for. Thank you for coming to grace this occasion. All invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, when I received the invitation to be the guest speaker at the lecture of Yoruba Tennis Club, I was truly excited because this almost 1 century old institution is known to be at the forefront of political and socio-economic responses to global developments. Judging from the long list of distinguished speakers who have been guest speakers here at the Yoruba Tennis Club and the diverse topics they discussed, it is obvious that members of this elite club truly seek the advancement of the country through intellectual discourses of this nature. Over the years, the Yoruba Tennis Club has become an incubation center for ideas on peace and unity in the country. I therefore thank you sincerely for involving me in this noble quest to make our country better. Considering that Yoruba Tennis Club will be 100 years old in a couple of years, I couldn't but wonder how I was choosing to deliver a lecture at such a revered club that is older than Nigeria, and of course, that is also older than me. On receiving your invitation, a number of questions rocked my mind. How will I align myself with the dreams of leaders of a century-old club? How do I give a lecture that resonates with this dream coming from the South while I feel at home? Such a prestigious club in the Southwest. I was, however, comforted. The answer to emerge further visions and ideals of the Yoruba Tennis Club. First, to my pleasant surprise and delight, I found out that the membership of the Yoruba Club is open to all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe or creed. That it was also Nwoked Alex of Achala in Anambra State, who was one of the vice patrons of the club. Moving forward, I was delighted to find out that the club is presently populated by people from all walks of life, captains of industry, bureaucrats, professionals, businessmen, retired public officers, or senior citizens, as I prefer to call them, and a host of other notable Nigerians. Again, when I found out that the formation of the club, first under the name of Oralodun, that it was an indirect response to the appetite policies of the colonialists who denied blacks entry into their social clubs. I guessed rightly that the impetus for the formation of the club was driven by the desire for equity and social justice. My guess was right, because my amateur interpretation of Oralodun literally means friendship is sweet or kindness is good. Whichever it is, it implies that this club is motivated by the desire for good friendship, for good neighborliness, or if you like, for social justice. So the motive is all embracing and noble. This position is further affirmed by excerpts from the club's prayer, to wit, may those who pass through the portals of Yoruba Tennis Club continue to prosper. It appears right, therefore, to say that the Yoruba Tennis Club promotes prosperity for its members and its fellow countrymen and women. As we know, only those who believe in social justice can pontificate on prosperity without fear of contradiction. I'm hopeful, therefore, that the conversation we shall have here today will sit well with the dreams of the club. Having said this, I must also admit that the next task I had was to choose a suitable topic, since I was graciously granted the privilege to do so in my letter of invitation. Now, considering the background and the driving force of the club, which I have alluded to, I was convinced that the topic that will do justice to this epoch event is one that dwells on social justice in the land. And how else can this be achieved other than to lead a conversation on patriotism, citizenship, and social justice in Nigeria? The idea is to determine the degree of patriotism among Nigerian citizens and how that derives from their perception of the level of social justice in the land. In light of this, I settled for the topic, "Where are the Nigerians?" A discourse on patriotism and citizenship. In settling for this line of conversation, I consider that we have had a deluge of topics dealing with so many of these challenges confronting Nigeria, and that we have had recommendations designed to address these challenges. But I doubt, however, if we have taken a look at a fundamental question of the human factor, which I consider necessary for the implementation of these recommendations. This all-important human factor is the Nigerian citizen. I know it may sound pedestrian to ask where Nigerians are. This is because it is not in doubt that there is a country called Nigeria, and the citizens of this country are called Nigerians. But when we look at the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we know how to become a citizen of Nigeria, either through birth, marriage, or naturalization. We also know that the responsibility for the development of Nigeria lies with Nigerians themselves. The assumption is that citizens of Nigeria, like citizens of other countries, should be patriotic because, in the real sense, they have no other country to call theirs. This love of country is what is generally referred to as patriotism. But why the topic? I know some people will be nursing this question, and many more would be wondering what I intend to achieve with a lecture entitled, "Where are the Nigerians?" My simple response is that the issue of patriotism among citizens is currently on the front burner of conversations on how countries can overcome their challenges and attain greatness. This may have informed the decision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who recently urged the Ministry of Information and National Orientation to find ways to raise the feelings of patriotism among Nigerians. Personally, I have read many articles and listened to many commentaries on the issue of declining patriotism among Nigerians. One of such articles, the desertion of Nigeria by Nigerians, lack of patriotism, or a need for a better life, by Timothy Onyegoke, which appeared on the business day of January 4, 2023. It was quite remarkable. As a result of this new thinking around patriotism, the most reputable polling agencies across the world now conduct annual surveys to determine the degree of patriotism among citizens of different countries of the world. You can be sure that the results of such surveys are taken rather very seriously in many countries. 4 countries, United States of America, Australia, India, and Venezuela, have often emerged in the top 10 countries with the most patriotic citizens in recent surveys. But in the year 2024, a survey by World Metrics, Mexicans came tops in terms of national pride. South Koreans show the strongest feelings of identity, while Indians showed the highest willingness to fight for their country. To my shock and disappointment, Nigeria is often excluded from the list of countries covered by many of these global surveys. Thus, as part of this lecture, I propose that we empirically examine the degree of patriotism in Nigeria. The idea is to determine to what degree Nigerians love their country and how willing they are to make sacrifices for Nigeria. In other words, we want to find out what percentage of Nigerians are willing to make sacrifices, including the supreme sacrifice for the country. Being patriotic by loving one's country is one thing, but having the confidence that the country guarantees social justice and provides citizens with a level playing field to operate is a different kettle of fish. So we shall also empirically determine the level of confidence among Nigerians on the social justice side of the citizenship coin. This is because patriotism must go with a guarantee of social justice or equity for citizens to blossom to the point where citizens are proud to be identified as citizens of a country. It is also true that where social justice and equity are absent, it may be difficult to find true citizens in every sense of the word. As part of this lecture, we want to determine where Nigeria belongs. Does she fall into the category of countries whose true citizens are hard to find? Or does she fall into the category of a country where the citizens are proud to make sacrifices? This explains why I posed the question, where are the Nigerians? Simply put, we need to first find out whether we have Nigerian citizens who believe that the country provides them with a level playing field for equity and social justice. In essence, we seek to know the proportion of the citizens of Nigeria who are willing to make sacrifices for the country. So why all citizens of Nigeria are Nigerians? We are looking out for the Nigerians who are truly proud of their Nigerianness and therefore ready to go all out to love and defend her if and when necessary. So this whole lecture is fashioned to be a clear departure from the norm because it is a discussion about the real and verifiable feelings of the people, not theory. Before I delve into the lecture properly, let me state that I have a strong desire to see Nigeria rise to truly become the greatest country in Africa and possibly the world. I am emboldened by the fact that many countries have risen rapidly over the short periods of time to achieve unexpected greatness. I'm also an incurable optimist in this regard, because I believe that if we do the right things, Nigeria will truly be great. Expectedly, I reflect this zeal each time I have the opportunity to present a lecture such as this. Often, I look at those things we need to do to make Nigeria great. This explains why, only last month, when I had the privilege of delivering the 52nd convocation lecture of the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, I chose to speak on the topic, why universities should lead the way to a new Nigeria. By the way, the University of Nigeria in Nsukka is the first indigenous university in the country. And here I am today, delivering another lecture on the platform of the oldest indigenous club in Nigeria. What a lucky man I must be to have been given these rare opportunities to lead a conversation and drink from the fountains of wisdom at these legacy institutions that define the history of Nigeria. However, on this particular occasion, while I remain optimistic about our future, I feel that this lecture is an opportunity for us to examine the level of patriotism among Nigerians. Let us therefore start by taking a deeper look at what we mean when we talk of patriotism. What is patriotism, actually? The simplest definition of patriotism is love of one's country. Why this definition captures the real meaning of the word, there is room to bring in other essential components of patriotism. These components were described by Stephen Nathanson in 1993 to include a special affection for one's country, a sense of personal identification with the country, a special concern for the well-being of the country, and a willingness to sacrifice to promote the country's good. If all these were to be factored into the definition, patriotism can therefore be defined as love for one's country, identifying with it, having a special concern for it, and nurturing a willingness to sacrifice for it. Stanford, 2020. Looking at this definition, we can rightly say that patriotism is what is needed for the sustainable development of a country. This therefore justifies why patriotism has become a current subject of interest by both the academics and politicians across the globe. A high degree of similarity can be seen between patriotism and nationalism, but both terms are often used interchangeably. In addition, defining both terms and distinguishing them could even be more tricky for a multi-ethnic country such as Nigeria. However, for purposes of clarity, it is important to make a distinction between patriotism and nationalism. Lord Acton in 1972 is credited with making this distinction like this. Nationalism is about affection, while patriotism is about moral relation. In other words, nationalism refers to our relationship to our race and is a rather neutral feeling, while patriotism refers to the awareness of the moral duties or responsibilities which citizens owe their country. An earlier definition by George Orwell in 1962 seems to be preferred by politicians. George Orwell used the words aggressive and defensive to distinguish nationalism from patriotism. According to him, nationalism is more about power and prestige, which we feel for our country, while patriotism is more about a sense of devotion to our country. Now the question before us is, who is a patriotic Nigerian? Based on the definitions, it could be inferred that any Nigerian who exhibits these attributes towards our country is a patriotic citizen of the country. In other words, patriotism is a powerful force that binds us, we citizens, together as a nation. It encompasses various aspects such as love for one's country, sense of belonging, pride in leadership, sense of security, and national pride. Over time, scholars and opinion leaders have explored these facets of patriotism and have offered various insights into the nature and the expression of this sentiment, which incidentally is the oxygen that energizes a nation. This is so because at the core of patriotism lies an unconditional love for one's country. Put water for me.
Your Excellency, okay. Your Excellency, sir, okay.
Hello. Dear Oni, welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I miss you. This is so because at the core of patriotism lies an unconditional love for one's country, inspiring citizens to sacrifice for the nation's honor and protection. Our men and women in the armed forces come to my mind whenever I think of the highest degree of patriotism, which includes a willingness to make the ultimate sacrifice. This explains why they are accorded the highest recognitions and respect in most countries, especially the United States. And I look forward to a time when a comparable degree of respect will be extended to serving and retired men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Patriotism also fosters a sense of belonging, uniting citizens from diverse backgrounds to work together for the nation's development. The concept of one Nigeria is a powerful testament to the idea that our unity is our strength. Programs like the National Youth Service Corps and Unity Schools were conceived to promote a sense of allegiance and brotherhood among young Nigerians, highlighting the importance of a shared sense of belonging for our country's progress. Pride in leadership, both past and present, is another essential component of patriotism. We look to the examples set by our founding fathers, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Sardauna of Sokoto, who fought tirelessly for our nation's independence and laid the foundation for our unity and democracy. Their selfless dedication to Nigeria's unity and progress is a constant reminder of what it means to be a true patriot. Patriotism also provides a sense of security for the nation and its citizens. The Nigerian Armed Forces, comprising the Army, the Navy, and Air Force, stand ready to defend our nation's territorial integrity and protect its citizens, exemplifying a fiery patriotic spirit. This commitment to serving and safeguarding the nation's sovereignty and interest is a crucial aspect of patriotism. National pride. The sense of pride and accomplishment from being part of a nation is another vital element of patriotism. Events like our Independence Day anniversary, our Democracy Day celebration, and the National Sports Festival showcase Nigerian national pride, while the success of our athletes on the global stage brings glory to our nation and strengthens our shared sense of accomplishment. Several factors contribute to developing a strong sense of patriotism among the citizens of a nation. For Nigeria, they include our rich cultural heritage, our status as the largest country in Africa. These factors infuse a shared sense of national identity and pride. For some other climes, particularly in the Western world, patriotism could be influenced by regional identification, effective democracy, migration and immigration, national leadership, globalization, vernacular culture, and national identity. For example, the United States of American history of immigration and the melting pot concept have contributed to a strong sense of national identity and patriotism among its citizens. In the United Kingdom, the country's history of regional identity has contributed to a complex national identity, while effective democracy and solid national leadership have helped to engender patriotism. That is what is currently happening in Britain. In France, the country's history of national identity and the concept of secularism have contributed to a strong sense of national identity and patriotism. I suppose if we appreciate these factors and their influence on patriotism, we can gain a deeper understanding of how to raise a stronger sense of national identity and loyalty to our own country. To further ventilate our topic, it is necessary to examine available research and data on patriotism and citizenship in Nigeria to enable us to gain additional knowledge into the current state of patriotism in the country. Consequently, I would briefly analyze several surveys, studies, and other relevant information available so we can appreciate the level of patriotic sentiment among our citizens. Thereafter, we can identify the areas where we can strengthen our national identity and our unity. One notable study by Pew Research Center in 2017 examined the level of national pride among Nigerians. The study found that 85% of Nigerians expressed a strong sense of national pride, ranking among the highest levels of patriotism globally. This finding suggests that despite the challenges we face as a nation, most citizens hold a deep love and loyalty for Nigeria. This is quite impressive. However, we need to probe deeper into the factors that influence patriotism in Nigeria. A study published in the Journal of African Studies in 2019 explored the relationship between socioeconomic factors and patriotism among Nigerian youth. The study found that factors such as education, employment status, and income level significantly impacted the patriotic sentiment of young Nigerians. Those with high levels of education and stable employment were more likely to express solid patriotic views. At the same time, those facing economic hardship and unemployment were less likely to feel a strong sense of national pride. This finding agrees with the opinion of William Copper that no man can be a patriot on an empty stomach. Another essential factor to consider is the role of ethnic and regional identities in shaping patriotism in Nigeria. A 2018 study published in the Journal of African Political Economy and Development examined the relationship between ethnic identity and national identity in Nigeria. The study found that while many Nigerians hold strong ethnic and regional identities, these identities do not necessarily detract them from their sense of national pride. Instead, the study suggests that a robust national identity can coexist and be strengthened by recognizing and celebrating our diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds. These research findings provide premium insights into the current state of patriotism in Nigeria and the factors that influence it. But how patriotic are Nigerians today in terms of the parameters we identified earlier? Love for one's country, sense of belonging, pride in leadership, sense of security, justice, and national pride. At this point, I would like to share the outcome of a survey which I commissioned my research team to conduct on patriotism and citizenship. This was necessary for us to have a practical on-the-spot experience of the current level of patriotic zeal among Nigerians. This would help us to objectively address the question of where the Nigerians are. That is, to identify the percentage of those who truly believe in Nigeria and who are ready to die for her. To achieve this, we administered an online survey, and a total of 1,670 people of different ages and levels of education responded. The respondents were made up of 950 females, representing 55%, and 750 males, representing 45%. And in Table 1, which is also attached to this study, the age distribution of respondents, the ages of 18 years to 24, 650 people responded, representing 39%. The ages of 25 years to 34, 280 respondents, 17%. 35 to 44 years, 300 respondents, 18%. 45 to 54, 310 respondents, 19%. 55 and above, 130, representing 8%. In Table 2, the highest level of education attained. In that survey, no formal education, none responded. In primary school education, none responded. Secondary school education, 20 responded, representing 1%. Then the tertiary education, 1,650, representing 99%. State of origin is attached. Now the Table 4, which deals with the love for Nigeria. On a scale of 1 to 5, how will you rate your love for Nigeria? 450 people, representing 26.9%, responded too much. 400 people, 24%, responded very much. 380, 22.8%, responded moderate. 169.6% said a little, and 280, 16.8%, no love at all. Willingness to fight for Nigeria. Should a war break out between Nigeria and another country, would you be willing to enlist in the military to fight for your country? Or 1,070, representing 64.1%, said no. 600, representing 35.9%, said yes. In Table 6, dealing with the confidence in our institutions, which of these institutions or organizations do you believe protects your interests better? The federal government, 310% said yes, 18.6%. State government, 190 said yes, 11.4%. Local government, 90 said yes, 5.4%. What of tribe? 230 said yes, 13.8%. Religion, 240, representing 14.4%. Social club, 200, 12%. None of the above, 410, 24.6%. Sense of safety among other ethnic groups. How safe do you feel amid Nigerians from other ethnic groups? 300% said not safe at all, representing 18%. 220 said a bit safe, 13.2%. 670 said safe, 40.1%. 230 said very, very safe, 15%. And 230 said extremely safe, 13.8%. Confidence in our security agencies. How confident are you that security agencies can protect the lives and properties of Nigerians? 640 said not confident, which is 38.3%. 550 said slightly confident, 32.9%. 20 said confident, 12%. And 200 said very confident, 12%. And 80% said don't know, 4.8%. Equal opportunities in Nigeria. Do you believe the Nigerian nation offers equal opportunity for all citizens to thrive? 250 said yes, 15%. 1,450 said no, 85%. Country of preferred residence. If you have the choice to decide which country you will live for the rest of your life, which of these countries will you choose? Nigeria, 600, representing 35.9%, said Nigeria. 380 said United States of America, 22.8%. 60 said Britain, 3.6%. 410 said Canada, 24.6%. 120 said Australia, 7.2%. 20 said India, 1.2%. And 80 said none of the above, 4.8%. Now, table 11 is state of residence. Do you reside outside your own state of origin? 900 said yes, 53.9%. And 770 said no, 46.1%. Safety in another state. If yes, how safe do you feel living in another state other than your own state of origin? 180, representing 13.6%, said not safe at all. 180 said a little safe. 410 said safe. 370 said very safe. And 180 said extremely safe. From the results of this survey, the following findings emerged. Nigerian citizens love their country. Of the 1,670 sample population surveyed on how much they love their country, 27% said they love her too much. Another 24% said they love her very much. And 23% said they love her moderately. Only 9.6% and 17% said they have little love for Nigeria or none at all, respectively. What this means is that a greater majority of Nigerian citizens love their country. When you add the percentage of those who love her too much and those who said very much and moderately, you will get 74% of Nigerians who love their country. Only 26% had little or no love for the country, meaning that this is a country we all cherished and must all protect the country together. But there is a twist that is noticed for those who are willing to go to war for Nigeria. Of the sample population, 64% of the respondents said they will not be prepared to go to war for Nigeria. Only 36% are ready to do so. This implies that many Nigerian citizens, more than half the population, are not willing to die for their country. Of the institutions Nigerians trust to protect their interests, only 18% trust the federal government. 11% believe in the ability of the state government to do so, and 5% trust the local authority. On the other hand, 14% trust their tribes, while another 14% said they trust their religion more, and another 12% voted for their social clubs. The news here is that the greatest number of respondents, 24.6%, said they don't trust any of the institutions to protect them. The summary is that our people have little or no faith in the ability of any institution, be it government, religion, tribe, or club, to protect their interests. So it is not about the government alone. As the survey revealed, it is interesting that many Nigerians feel safe to live in states other than their own state of origin. While 28% feel very safe living in another state in Nigeria outside their state of origin, 13% feel extremely safe, with another 31% feeling safe. This means 72% of Nigerians feel safe living outside their own state of origin. Only a total of about 28% feel either unsafe or not safe. Also, the majority of Nigerians feel quite safe amidst Nigerians from other ethnic groups. A clear majority of 82% say they feel safe, slightly safe, very safe, or extremely safe. Only 18% said they don't feel safe. Regarding the country of preferred residence, including Nigeria, a sizable number prefer to live in the North American countries of Canada, 22%, or the United States, 22%. Again, Nigeria had the highest number of respondents, 46%, preferring to live here. This means that many Nigerians want to live in their own country. Regarding the confidence in the ability of the security agencies to protect the lives and properties of Nigerians, 38% are not confident, 33% are slightly confident, 12% are confident, and another 12% are very confident, with 5% saying they don't know. This means that majority, 57%, are confident one way or the other that the security agencies can protect them and their properties. This is very reassuring. However, a significant proportion, 43%, are not confident. Finally, regarding whether the Nigerian nation provides equal opportunities for all its citizens, the results are rather astonishing. While a large proportion, 85%, said they don't believe, only a paltry 15% answered in the affirmative. This implies that the majority of our people don't believe that the state provides a level playing field for all its citizens to thrive. When you look at the demography, you will find that young people ranging from the ages of 18 years to 24 years shows strong patriotism. 51% of them love Nigeria very much, or too much. Only 33% have little or no love for Nigeria. The middle age group, 35 to 44 and 45 to 54, are also quite patriotic. For 35 to 44, 58% love Nigeria very much or too much. For 45 to 54, 44% love Nigeria very much or too much. The oldest group, which is 55 years and above, shows the highest proportion of strong love. 59% love Nigeria very much or too much. None in this group said they have a little love for Nigeria. Across all age groups, more Nigerians expressed strong love, very much, too much, than little or no love for Nigeria. Our survey also showed that young people are the most willing to serve. Nearly half, 44%, of young Nigerians from the age of 18 years to 24 years say they will want to enlist in the Nigerian military if need be. This is the highest percentage among all age groups. Generally, older age groups are less willing to enlist in the army. Only 1 in 4 people aged 55 and above will be willing to enlist. Similarly, young people are the most optimistic about equal opportunities in Nigeria. But even among them, only about 1 in 5, 20%, believe opportunities are equal. This belief drops dramatically as the age increases. None of the respondents over 55 years and above believe Nigeria offers equal opportunities. Perhaps their position is informed by the experience over the years. Across all age groups, the vast majority feel that Nigeria does not provide equal opportunities for its citizens. Now, let us look at the takeaways from our study. First, let me observe that most of the findings from our survey are to a large extent in sync with the findings of the previous surveys conducted by the scholars whose studies I referred to earlier. However, on critical evaluation of the outcome of our survey, a number of major takeaways readily emerge as follows. From our survey, it was established that Nigerian citizens love their country almost passionately. They go further to demonstrate this by making it clear that they feel safe outside their home states. They also do not feel threatened by fellow countrymen and women from other ethnic groups. A good number of Nigerians would rather stay in Nigeria than leave the country, or Japa, as they call it. Interestingly, they also have the confidence that the security agencies can protect and keep them safe. These are the positive takeaways. The second set of takeaways is on the negative and quite instructive, which we must all rise to work on. Most Nigerians are not prepared to die for their country. From literature, citizens of developing countries are believed to have a stronger desire to go to war than citizens of developed countries. In a survey on the willingness to go to war conducted by World Atlas in 2018, Morocco and Fiji Islands came tops because 94% of their citizens showed a willingness to go to war for their countries. This was followed by Vietnam, 89%, Pakistan, 89%, and Bangladesh, 86%. An Oceanian country like Papua New Guinea came 7th, with 84% of our citizens being willing to go to war to protect her. What then is responsible for the relatively low percentage of Nigerians who are willing to go to war to defend their country? The other takeaway is that many Nigerians do not have the confidence that any of the former institutions, be it government, religious, tribal, or even social institutions, can protect their interests. The last takeaway from this category is more profound The majority of our people don't believe that the state provides a level playing field for its citizens to accomplish themselves. This borders on the citizens' perception on how just and fair the instruments of state power are to them. But the real takeaway here is that the people of Nigeria are naturally patriotic. They love their country, but they have not been encouraged by their nation to become Nigerians who are ready to die for their country because they believe in her. In other words, Nigerians love their country, but they have this feeling that this love has not been reciprocated by the country they so love. I am very sure that we have all been in love at one point or the other, and we should all feel familiar with that feeling of frustration when your love is not being reciprocated. Remember, there is a thin line between love and hate, and the more the love, the worse the hate. This probably explains why we are stuck and why we must work harder to create more patriotic Nigerians who are also willing to make sacrifices for our country. Here we appear to be facing a reverse of the famous quote on patriotism by American President John F. Kennedy. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." In our case, our citizens seem to be asking, what has our country done for us in return for all our love for her? We shall address the way forward, but first, let us examine some challenges impeding patriotism from blossoming fully in the country. Those are what we consider or call here threats to patriotism in Nigeria. The results of our survey are quite humbling. They point to a worrisome decline in a feeling of patriotism among Nigerians across several key parameters. In other words, something is amiss. What combination of factors could be responsible for this near cynicism among our countrymen and women? Theoretically, a number of factors are known to weaken a sense of patriotism among citizens. They include lack of knowledge of a country's value, the history of the country, the culture of the country, and the critical assessment of the government, and personal negative experiences such as injustice, inequality, and corruption. Distinguished audience, I make bold to state that our great nation faces a variety of threats that strike at the heart of our patriotism. I crave your indulgence to speak frankly about these issues, for only by acknowledging them can we hope to overcome them. Although the security situation in our country has witnessed tremendous improvements in recent times, the damage done by waves and seasons of sheer brigandage across the country is simply bewildering. From the insurgency in the northeast to the banditry plaguing the northwest, from the communal clashes in the middle belt to the rise of separatist agitations in the southeast and southwest, these threats not only endanger our citizens, but also erode the fabric of our nationhood. It is unrealistic to expect unconditional patriotism from a man or woman, boy or girl, whose loved ones are being mowed down by bandits, whose means of livelihood is threatened by criminals acting with impunity, whose sense of security is compromised, and whose feelings of belonging is shortchanged because of his or her ethnic or religious background. Patriotism is alien. Patriotism is alien to such people, especially when it seems the country has given them neither justice nor reprieve. Can you preach patriotism to men, women, and children who have been living in IDP camps across the country. Like William Cowper put it, no man can be a patriot on an empty stomach. If citizens have no confidence in the capacity of the country to provide social justice or equity, is it fair to expect fervent loyalty or patriotism from them? Your case, I feel, will be as good as mine. Political challenges too. Political challenges cast a long shadow over our nation. Corruption, if I am not the one, no man should be. Disrespect to leadership, inability to cooperate and support national sovereignty. The insidious cancer continues to eat away at our institutions and our individual and collective feelings of patriotism. The practice of looting our commonwealth, some of which is invested abroad at the detriment of our own economic development, is about the most unpatriotic act the office holder can undertake. Our long history with nepotism and misgovernance undermines public trust among Nigerians, to the extent that if care is not taken, Nigerians will transfer aggression to innocent leaders who have just emerged. These issues do not merely hinder our progress, they actively work against the very ideas of nationhood and patriotism which we hold dear. Inept leadership of the past has reigned many socio-economic disparities in our society. The gap between the privileged and the disadvantaged widens daily, creating a nation divided not just by ethnicity or religion, but by inequality, opportunity, and access to resources. As a result, most of our citizens do not believe that our country holds equal opportunities for everyone. This inequality strikes at the very heart of our patriotic zeal. It dampens that zeal in more ways than one. These issues have created a crisis of patriotism in our nation. They have led many to question their faith in Nigeria, and no doubt the promise of our great country, Nigeria. My esteemed members of the Yoruba Tennis Club, I do not enumerate these challenges to dishearten us. Rather, I mention them because we have to confront them head-on if we must overcome. The issue of declining patriotism is a global phenomenon. Even developed countries, including the almighty USA, are currently grappling with the challenge of declining patriotism among their citizens. Thus, I stand here today to tell you that all hope is not lost. The spirit of Nigeria, that indomitable will that has seen us through countless trials, still burns bright. Our potential remains vast. Our resources are abundant, and our people are resilient. We simply need a renewal of our national spirit, a recommitment to the ideas that bind us together as one nation. We must work tirelessly to address these challenges, to build a Nigeria that provides security, prosperity, and justice for all its citizens. Look at the current policies of the new administration. Let us not be aggrieved by the actions of the past. Let us evaluate the present realistically and pragmatically. This task falls not just on the government, but to every Nigerian. We must each play our part in rebuilding trust, in promoting unity, in rekindling the flames of patriotism among Nigerians. We must remember that Nigeria is more than just a geographical expression. It is our home. It is our heritage. It is our hope for the future. But how do we face these challenges practically? How do we renew patriotic zeal among 225 million people who call Nigeria their home How do we reclaim and bring back the Nigerians who do not feel that their country has offered them sufficient space for equality and social justice? Hereunder is my opinion on how this can be achieved. One thing is clear. I hold the view that these Nigerians have never given up on Nigeria, so they can be reclaimed. Thus, I found plenty of solace in the article written by Timothy Oyegoke, which I already referred to. In his conclusion, he said, the migration of many Nigerians out of the country is not an issue of unpatriotism, but it is about life. It is about liberty. It is about the pursuit of happiness. I concur with this conclusion. I concur because I've observed that these Nigerians retain a very high level of interest in the affairs of the country. For example, I received countless invitations by our diaspora Nigerians to come and talk about developments in Nigeria. How do we bring back the Nigerians? Every day we are faced with situations that make us wonder the kind of country we will bequeath to our children. The thought or prospects of bequeathing a country devoid of nationalism, devoid of security and patriotism, is scary, and the task of reclaiming Nigeria is an urgent one. Thus, allow me to outline a number of strategies that will bring back the unique feelings of pride in being a Nigerian, and this will in turn help us to find the elusive or missing Nigerians. I'm referring to that deep and emotional feelings of pride that infected all Nigerians when our green, white, green flag was unveiled as the symbol of our independence. First and foremost, we must promote and embody our national values. Citizenship, integrity, and national pride should not just be only words we recite, but principles we live by. Our National Orientation Agency and the entire Ministry of Information and National Orientation will spearhead efforts to champion these values, inspiring a renewed commitment and loyalty to Nigerians among all citizens. This is why I praise the decision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government to introduce our old national anthem, Nigeria We Heard You. The words of this anthem feel like the balm to the battered soul of our nation. It is truly a wonder that it was ever jettisoned in the first place. Thankfully, it is back for good. It is the first crucial step in the redemptive task of renewing our patriotic zeal. We must keep looking to our history for inspiration. Our founding fathers and leaders of independent Nigeria had patriotism in their DNA. They took on the colonialists with fervor and fought with pride for a new Nigeria, free from the shackles of colonialism. Their act of courage left us as proud inheritors of their hard work and sacrifice. We must honor their legacy by embodying that same spirit of patriotism in our own time. But the sweet lyrics of an anthem, the soothing words of a pledge, the bright colors of a flag, and the wishes of our forebears will not be enough. Accountability, integrity, and purposeful leadership must be at the forefront of our efforts if we must achieve the desired result. We cannot expect patriotism to flourish in an environment where corruption and nepotism go unchecked. I am convinced and I'm happy that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is on track to rebuild Nigeria. Recent reports from PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, indicate that some of the desired positive economic changes have begun to emerge from the reform policies of the federal government. According to the report, Fitch Ratings revised the outlook on Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issuer default ratings, IDR, from being stable to positive. On exports grew. Oil exports grew by 200.9% to 15.5 trillion naira in Q1 of 2024, from 5.5 trillion naira it was in Q1 of 2023. Non-oil exports grew by 38.5% to 1.8 trillion in Q1 of 2024, from 1.3 trillion in Q1 of 2023 it was. This is a clear signal that we are getting out of the woods. That aside, the administration has expressed desire and capacity to fight corruption and enthrone good governance. Inclusive governance is another hallmark that we should encourage. If the truth must be told, President Bola Tinubu has, by the equitable spread of critical infrastructure, reassured Nigerians of diverse ethnic and religious leanings that they should have faith in the country. That is a practical way of engendering a sense of belonging and a deeper sense of patriotism among them. The major factor facilitating this process is inclusivity. When people believe they belong, that sense of belonging makes it easier for them to believe in the country again. It is on record that under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the hierarchy of the security architecture is now more inclusive. This is a major ingredient for national cohesion, which helps our findings of those Nigerians who believe the country protects their interests. You'll be glad to know that in Imo State, my administration has demonstrated a strong commitment to good governance and accountability. We've particularly empowered our young boys and girls in the digital skills. Over 40,000 have graduated, and 85% of them gainfully employed. The truth is that the government of Imo State and even the APC-led federal government are committed to supporting our anti-corruption agencies and enforcing stricter penalties for those who betray the public trust. When we hold individuals accountable for their actions and punish their bad behaviors that compromise our collective welfare through the strengthening of our criminal justice system, we create a society where patriotism can thrive. Our youth are the future of this nation. We must engage them in nation building. We must expand the educational programs which celebrate Nigeria's rich culture and history, encouraging our young people to take pride in their heritage. Community service initiatives and civic responsibilities should be integrated into our education system, instilling in our youth a sense of ownership and pride in their citizenship. Civic education must be a cornerstone of our efforts. Our schools will promote civic responsibility and patriotism by teaching our children about the country's history, about the country's culture and values. It is only by understanding our past that we'll be better equipped to shape our tomorrow. National unity and inclusivity are paramount in our quest to revive patriotism. Nigeria's diversity should be a source of strength and not a source of weakness. Across all sectors, the government must prioritize policies that ensure social justice for all citizens, regardless of their background. We should actively work to bridge the gaps between different groups, celebrating our diversity while emphasizing our shared values and aspirations as Nigerians. We must also strengthen our national symbols and traditions. The Nigerian flag, the national anthem, the national pledge should be recognized and promoted as national symbols and powerful reminders of our collective identity and values. We should restore and promote the old tradition of the regular and purposeful use of the national anthem and pledge in our schools, in public institutions, at community events. Additionally, We should celebrate and preserve our rich cultural heritage, promoting a stronger connection to our history and identity. The media and public figures play crucial roles in shaping our national narrative. We should work closely with the media to highlight positive stories of patriotism, not promote to envisage the protests on August 10 by unknown hands. Civic engagement and national achievement, whenever we promote patriotic role models, we inspire ourselves to take pride in our country and contribute to its development. In conclusion, my esteemed audience, reviving patriotism in our great nation is a task that falls to each of us. It requires a fundamental shift in our mindset and behavior, from the halls of government to the streets, from the cities to the villages. We must all work together to foster a sense of national pride and commitment to our country's progress. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not unsurmountable. We can rekindle the flame of patriotism in our country if we address these issues head-on by promoting good governance, promoting unity, investing in education, addressing economic challenges, and celebrating our national identity. We must also consider how far our nation is driven by merit in her public and private life. How many young people get employed in private and public spaces on merit rather than on who they know or where they come from? How many people move up their career ladder based on merit rather than on who they know, their creed or tribe? How many young men and women have unfettered opportunities to pursue their dreams, their careers or occupations based on what they can offer rather than on who they know or where they come from? The questions are indeed endless. The truth is that this nation is not largely merit-driven, and that is our major bane. Let me illustrate this unfortunate reality with a true life story that represents the lot of many folks. Two boys were born the same year in the same city in Nigeria, but to two parents from different parts of the country. They attended the same secondary school and sat the common entrance examination to Unity Secondary Schools the same year. One scored 250 in the exam, and the other scored 120. The one that scored 250 was not admitted, but the one with 120 was admitted. So why the one, hold on, so why the one who scored 120, went to a federal school, a federal government college? The one with 220 went to a community secondary school in his state. Both finished secondary school the same year and took the joint admission and matriculation board exam. Both applied to study law in the first generation universities. The one who went to a federal government college scored 118 in JAM, while the one who went to a community school scored 237. The one with 118 was admitted to the first generation university of his choice, while the one who scored 230 was not. He eventually got admission to a university owned by his own state. Again, both graduated the same year in law, with the one who went to a state university back in the first class, while his friend made a third class. Both were called to the bar the same year. Again, the third class graduate immediately got a federal job, while his class friend remained jobless, who bagged first class. Later, he became a charge and bail lawyer for lack of job to do. 12 years after the call to bar, the charge and bail lawyer had a matter in a federal high court. When the judge entered the courtroom, guess what? It was his childhood who met a class friend that was the judge. The question is, could this scenario have occurred if our system was merit-driven? The answer is that, of course, you know. Granted that
Our system must find a way to ensure that firebrand, intelligent young people are not frustrated. There are many in this bracket as we speak, and it doesn't speak well of our nation and our Nigerianness. I believe that there should be a way to balance this to ensure the accommodation of many. Government could initiate a policy to grant automatic scholarships to those who score a certain grade in JAM. Say, for instance, those who score 300 and above, or those within the bracket of the best 0.05% performance. Similarly, the government can make it a standing policy that those who graduate with first class in federal universities will be given automatic jobs. State government should do the same for those graduating from their state universities. I actually did that with those who made first class in law in both Imo State University and the law school. They were given automatic jobs in the state. I'm convinced that adopting such policies will ensure that our brightest and best brains are not allowed to be frustrated, just like the case of the man in the pathetic story I just narrated. We need to create enough space for everyone to thrive, and this should emphasize merit. Herein comes the need to take another look at our federal project, which in my view is currently skewed. We need to create sufficient space for all tribes and tongues in the land to thrive without impeding the speed or space of order. This is why the need to rejig our federal project may be inevitable. If we do, we would have gone a long way in addressing the root of the palpable despair of a good number of our people who have lost confidence that the present federal structure is capable of protecting their interests. This is cogent, because when we take this needful step, we will have ensured that more powers are not only devolved to the states, but more responsibilities, space, and resources also, which will be enough to accommodate the yearnings of our people, particularly the teeming population of the youths. Besides, by doing so, we will be true to the creed of our new national anthem, that though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And I dare to add that when we do, we will find that the Nigerians we seek, who love their country fervently, and who will be ready to make sacrifices for her, are indeed everywhere. As George McGowan once said, the highest patriotism is not a blind acceptance of official policy, but a love of one's country deep enough to call her to higher planes. Ladies and gentlemen, from the foregoing, it must be obvious that we all have a duty to find and reclaim our fellow compatriots, including those in the diaspora. Speak to their consciences. Let them understand the value of being loyal to the country. Let them not be incited by agents of the system, agents of the government. We must engage them all over in the task of building the Nigerian nation as part of responsibility as true patriots. Finally, I want to leave you with the words of Adela Stevenson. Patriotism is not a short and frenzied outburst of emotion, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime. The task of our generation is to find or build this category of patriotic Nigerians, those who are the Nigerians the nation needs to survive. I thank you again for the privilege to lead this conversation on patriotism here at the platform of this prestigious club, the oldest indigenous club in our beloved country. May God bless all of us. Long live the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live Nigerians. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. God bless all of us.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club.
ọnwa na-adị anya obi mma ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa gọvanọ anyị sawatifochi ọnwa na-adị anya obi mma ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa gọvanọ anyị sawatifochi ọnwa na-adị anya obi mma ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa sawatibe ọnwa gọvanọ anyị sawatifochi ọnwa na-adị anya obi mma
Long live the chairman of the
ayama ayama nwere ọsọ bịara ije bịa gọvanọ anyị ayama ayama nwere ọsọ bịara ije bịa gọvanọ anyị
Thank you very much. His Excellency is still here. The governor is still here, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Please sit down. The governor is still here. Thank you very much. Please sit down and let's continue. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Kindly sit down, please.
Biko no, welu no che ake na ebido no. Welu no che biko no. Afọ m na ndị Igbo pụta n'ụdị maka onye abụ ife niile gbasara ndị Igbo n'isi eke imesa ọha gburugburu o si Igbo wee bata nnọọ ekele gị. Ladies and gentlemen, let me plead with you again. Let us sit down. Oh God. How do we? Awa ga yole den. Awa onyoko Governor Imo. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. We would like to go on with the program. Please sit down. Please sit down. Mr. Governor, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The time to greet the governor is still coming, please. Please sit down. Please sit down. The governor will attend to everyone immediately after this time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please let us sit down. Please let us sit down. Please let us sit down. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Please sit down. The governor only concluded on his lectures. The program continues. Thank you very much. His Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodimma, has just concluded a lecture on patriotism and citizenship. Thank you very much. You will all agree with me that the title of this lecture is quite apt. The first question is, where are the Nigerians? And I'm wondering if the Nigerians are in this hall. If so, I think everyone should sit down and let us all agree that there are the Nigerians that we seek to promote patriotism and citizenship are indeed in this hall. Thank you very much. Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Your Excellency, Mr. Governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to honor your own son. I am proud of him. He has displayed what has earned him this kind of respect. But he's asked me to please nudge you that some of us can also proceed to Chief Tony Chukwu's house, because Chief Tony Chukwu is playing host to him.
Thank you very much. While the governor was delivering his lecture, long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. While the governor was delivering his lecture, at this point, I'd like to commend the industry that the governor of Imo State has put into the lecture. And while the lecture was on, one of the things that I glimpsed on the lecture was the efforts we would like to go to the next section of this program. We would like to go to the next session of this program, which is an interactive session. The interactive session. But just before then, while the governor was delivering his lecture, he spoke extensively about patriotism and citizenship. He talked about the security situation of the country. And I would like to state that a man who superintends over one of the safest states in Nigeria, walked in while the lecture was being delivered. May I have the pleasure of introducing His Excellency, Mr. Abiodun Abayomi Oyebanji, the Governor of Ekiti State. Mr. Governor, you're welcome, sir. Also, at that period was when His Imperial Majesty, the Onirisa of Ile-Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, came in. Kabiyesi, you're welcome, sir. Greetings, sir. And I would like to state that Kabiyesi is a vice patron of Yoruba Tennis Club. You're welcome, sir. So at this point, I would like to make some recognitions, and I'll hand over the mic to Brother Bisi Olatilo.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Governor Hope Uzodimma CON, and the lovely wife, Barrister Choma Hope Uzodimma, thank you very much. From Imo State House of Assembly, we have a very rich retinue of members of the House of Assembly. Right Honorable Chike Olengbe, Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly is here. Right Honorable Amarachi Wayang, Deputy Speaker, also here with us. Right Honorable Kanayo Oyemechi, Majority Leader, Imo State House of Assembly. Honorable Dominic Ezerioha of Oru West, okay then. The Honorable Obin Naigu of Ungo Bala. Thank you very much for coming. We're doing this announcement so that we can get our acts together and start this event. Of course, Chief Uche Nnaji, thank you very much. Minister of Science and Technology, God bless you, thanks very much. You've been here all along. Senator Ima Anosike, thank you. Dr. Ijeoma Aridiobu, Southeast APC Vice Chair, also here with us. Honorable Ima Enugu has been here all along. Of course, Chief Ike Hakim, His Excellency, thanks very much. Chief Cosmos Iwu, Secretary to Imo State Government. Dr. McDonald Ebe, APC State Chairman. Engineer Chibuike Achibu and Chief Cosmos Maduba. Thank you very much for still being here with us. We will wrap up very soon, but we must do the right things. We'll do the question and answer very soon. Honorable Kanayo Oyemechi, okay, Majority Leader, Imo State House of Assembly. His Royal Majesty Eze Oliver Hakwe, Traditional Ruler of Okigwe. Right Honorable Jerry Alaboso, APC Chieftain and former member representing Olu, Osu, and Oru East Federal Constituency. Dr. McDonald Ebere, Imo State APC Chairman, Honorable John Leo Baiheoha, and Chief Solomon Agwene, CEO Agwene Foundation. He has a special presentation to make very soon. Ndi Igbo Lagos Foundation, Ununeba, Igbo Intelligentsia, all market leaders are also here with us. Imo Students, Emoha is here. CEO EMAP Group of Companies. Chief Ugumba Nwosu, Chief of Staff to the former Chief of Staff to the former Imo State Governor. Imo State Towns Development Association, Lagos. Chief Stanley Amuchie, Executive Director, Fidelity Bank. H.S. Nasi Eteba, SAN. He partners Emeka Echeba SAN. And of course, Pat Orama, chairman of SEPLAT. Well, at this point, I think we're ready for the presentation, aren't we? The presentation is Chief Solomon Agwene here. Chief Solomon Agwene has a special presentation for the guest of honor. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. At this point, we're going to the interactive session. And I would like to call on Brother Air Commodore Adewale Onitiju to handle this session for us. Brother Onitiju.
Don't worry.
Your Excellency, Royal Majesties, and this distinguished audience, we've all listened with rapt attention to what could easily pass for a doctoral thesis of a lecture by His Excellency. It will no doubt be a good material for the need to rejig our governance architecture. As you may have heard in the course of proceedings here, Yoruba Tennis Club, founded almost a century ago, was premised on the need for truth and social justice. Public lectures such as this is a platform that has been variously used over the years to bring to attention important issues that can promote communal cohesion and happiness of the people. For those who listened with rapt attention to His Excellency's delivery, you must have noticed one constant factor: the human resources. When you talk of the attributes of a state, a nation, population it is, Nigeria has it. We have territory, we have sovereignty. Those are elements of modern nation states. But most of the conclusions were anchored on the need to consciously channel the human resource to make for a better society. Without bugging you much, there are some sound bites that I will bring again to your attention. Part of it was that only those with a passion for social justice in the land will promote communal prosperity. And today's lecture has largely addressed these contradictions in the Nigerian society. He provided ways forward to make it better. Also, he highlighted the fact that Nigerians generally love their country. All the leadership needs to do is to mobilize, motivate them, and guide them to a better society. He highlighted the need for accountability, purposeful leadership, and responsibility, which should be the beacon of hope. Incidentally, he is Senator Hope, and he is in the Renewed Hope agenda. So in furtherance of all this, we should rebuild the nation, utilizing those elements he highlighted. You may have noticed that in addition to the current challenges, many attributed this to what is considered a faulty extant governance architecture. And many of the examples that His Excellency highlighted, they bordered on this. So, Yoruba Tennis Club has always been in the forefront of the need to tell it as it is to whomsoever is in power, with a view to having a more just socio-economic society. Part of His Excellency's submissions were the urgent need to review the extant inadequacies, which he copiously highlighted. Patriotism or love of one's country reflects in special affection, issue of personal identification, willingness to sacrifice one's life for country's good. Interestingly enough, I spent 33 years in the Nigerian Armed Forces, and it's saddening that from the statistics that His Excellency highlighted, not so many are willing to go. That means the present institutions require some reform. We have to say a second look at all this, but I commend to everyone this doctoral thesis of a lecture for us to read, digest, and then inform, articulate the views to be submitted anytime we choose to rejig the country's governance architecture. So, since time has been well spent, it seems a bit on the long side, and the lecture appeared to have been well taken, we will allow for only 2 comments from either of the 2 aisles. Does anybody want to make a comment or a little contribution, or do I take it that it's all understood? Yes, the gentleman here. Will you please get in the mic?
Good evening, Your Excellency the Governor, Your Excellency the Governor of Ekiti State, Your Majesty, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My comment is that I am here as the head of service of Imo State with representatives of the body of permanent secretaries to give confirmation, real-life confirmation to what His Excellency has said in his paper. Real life in the sense that he met an Imo State civil service that was not strong enough for what he expected. And so when we talk about patriotism, citizen participation, that is the very reason the body of permanent secretary said we must be here. Because he has done it in healthcare provision, he has done it in salary payment, he has done it in training and retraining. And that is what we are expecting that he's doing here for all Nigerians. And so, Your Excellency, we thank you for this power to speak truth to power. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a good contribution. He practices what he preaches at home. Can we have the last one from here? Yes. That's Mazi Ohabua, I think. Is that Mazi Ohabua?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Your Excellencies, Royal Majesties, distinguished chairman of this great club, ladies and gentlemen, I just want one message. That message is that all of us have listened to this brilliant paper. And as you rightly said, it's a doctoral thesis. If this is a university, we could give him a doctorate degree today. But my point is here. He wouldn't be the first person to speak this way. And he probably will be not the last person. The question is, when these things are spoken, we should internalize it. Not to be thinking that it's the other man who should do it. Everybody has a way of pushing patriotism or the things that can bring social equity, equality to somebody else. My point, Mr. Chairman, is that today everybody living here has a small space he controls, has a little constituency. Can we act in that constituency the Nigerian that we want? Can we build it in that constituency, irrespective of what everybody else is doing? If we continue to that day by day, Nigeria will become that country we need. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, there's not much to say again. Let's get back, implement this. And with that, I think we've come to the end of the interactive session. Thank you for your participation.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. Result, we have a special group of persons in the hall today. I think they're about the most important in the demography. We have the students of King's College and Dowen College up there. They have been here since, and unfortunately they didn't get space downstairs. But the students of King's College and Dowen College, can you stand up? King's College, they're up there. Thank you very much. I would like to call on our river trustee, who is here in representative capacity on behalf of the Chairman Board of Trustees, Brother Dr. Femi Okunu, SAN-CON, who himself is a man of caliber. May I call on Brother Sigismund Babashe Joseph, SAN, to give the closing remarks and also make a presentation to the guest lecturer, Brother Joseph.
Long live the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the vice patron, trustees, and members of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live the brethren of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Long live our sisters, long live our guests. I bring you good tidings from the chairman, board of trustee, Alhaji Femi Okuno, SAN-CON. Well, as you all know, he's in his 90s, and there's a limit to his moving around. Today's lecturer, Senator Uzodimma, thank you so much for this insightful and thought-provoking lecture. I'm not surprised. I haven't listened to your profile being read. Very deep lecture. And I am sure we will all walk away with thoughts in our mind. One of the speakers mentioned the last speaker said, look, don't just listen and walk away. Practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. We should all go back home today with a few things. Number one, the contents of Senator Uzodimma's lecture. Take it back to your communities. I said it earlier, practice what you preach. Take it back. Reflect on it. And above all, let us engage amongst ourselves the act of attending such lectures, encourage such lectures, enlighten ourselves. We have a long way to go in this country. Let us prefer positive things, not negative things. The social media, it's all about negative things in Nigeria. Senator, thank you. Warm regards from Alhaji Okunu again, and then have a good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
I think he has a presentation to make. The gift is waiting, actually. Come.
Long live the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club. May I humbly invite the chairman of Yoruba Tennis Club to assist the trustee in making this presentation to our guest lecturer. Brother Chairman, please. While His Excellency is making his way to the podium, I have a very little challenge, sir. Please come, sir. I said I overheard a rumor that you are a Lagos boy, and I thought you were going to address the issue. Yeah, sir.
Today's guest lecturer, Senator Hope how do you pronounce that? Uzodimma, COM, the Executive Governor of Imo State. In appreciation of your delivery of a public lecture at the Yoruba Tennis Club, today, the 18th day of July 2024, I present this to you. And in addition to that, there is a token gift for Your Excellency. First Lady, touch it, so you would, yeah, thank you. From the Yoruba Tennis Club, thank you.
We humbly invite the royal fathers to please, with all respect, come take photographs with His Excellency. While this is going on, may I humbly invite His Excellency, Mr. Abiodun Abayomi Oyebanji, the Governor of Ekiti State, to please step up for photograph, please.